After spending a week with us here in Chicala, Chris's family had all flown home to California, leaving just the two of us with no real schedules or timelines. However, we were feeling the itch to move on, so we went through the motions of stowing our flop stopper and freeing our primary and stern hook from the ocean floor.
Alright everybody, well we're out of Chicala. It's kind of sad. We didn't want to leave really.
It felt really good to be stationary for longer than 2 days. Chris and I have just been constantly on the move since we left Morro Bay. So being here for like a week and a half was lovely, especially with the warm water.
And now we're headed to Banderas Bay. So we're gonna see hopefully all of it. I'm gonna go to La Cruz first, and we don't hardly have any plans to leave that bay until about a month. So we got a while to hang around and chill and have fun with some cruisers.
Although we had originally intended on sailing up into the Sea of Cortez, we decided to sail south to Banderas Bay to meet up with our internet friends and fellow Choi Lee owners who you might know from the YouTube channel Sailing Sitka, and help them with a project that would save them a trip to the boatyard. So right now we're about to cross over a reef. It's really shallow in some spots, but according to our guidebook, there's one good spot to cross over it. Our depth sounder is not working very well, but it looks like it is working for the time being, which is good. There's Chris up on the bow, making sure we're not hitting any crab pots or anything. So.
Hola.
Luckily, we had passed over the area of concern with no real issues, and the rest was smooth downwind sailing. The anchorage is packed, but luckily there's still plenty of space for us, and it's really nice to come into the anchorage and see familiar boats. We have some boats that were with us in Chicala, and we also have our friend Sitka in front of us. Sitka is a Choi Lee Offshore 41, so it's going to be a Choi Lee family reunion real soon.
Woo woo! Lay down this hook. What's our depth? 30 feet. The way we usually do things is I'm up on the bow. I drop the hook. Marissa backs down on it very slowly, and until we get to the end of our scope, let the bow kind of re-straighten out, because usually when I'm dropping it, the stern tends to kick out and the bow goes down. And once we are straightened out, the scope has been let out nice and evenly. Marissa backs down to a suitable level, knowing that we set the hook and aren't going to go anywhere.
Although we were eager to get a closer look at Avocet's sister, Sitka, we wouldn't meet her crew, Jay and Kenna, until the following day when they returned from an inner Mexico trip with our soon-to-be friends Max and Karen. The La Cruz anchorage provides protection from the wintertime north winds, but it still experiences wraparound swell, which earns the anchorage the rightful reputation as rolly. Luckily, just as advertised, our flop stopper took some of the motion out of the ocean and let us settle in for a solid night of sleep.
We are listening to our first ever cruising net, which is pretty cool.
Salt whistle.
I think this is when I say my name, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Sunrise out. Dorothy Marie.
Avocet.
Avocet.
Yeah, we just came on down Baja Coast about 3 weeks ago, so blasted down, get into the warm waters, and lovely to be in La Cruz.
Good to have you. Any others?
A net refers to any marine radio program that has a predetermined time and channel where anyone within range can tune in. It's like a radio show, but in addition to simply listening, you can actively participate by making announcements, asking questions, offering goods and services, or introducing yourself and sailing plans. Usually, your cruising guide will tip you off to a local net if it's a large one, but if not, you can always ask a fellow cruiser if one exists, and at what days and times it does so. Overall, the net is a great way to meet people, learn more about the community you just sailed into, and find boat parts. Or in our case, sewing machine parts.
So after listening to our first cruising net, we have some stuff to trade out. I have our old Renogy DC to DC charger that didn't work for us, and I also have a aluminum 3-blade prop that the pitch wasn't quite right for our, goodness gracious, the rolly anchorage. The pitch wasn't quite right for our Yamaha, so I'm going to give it to somebody else that needs it, and then in trade for all those things, we're going to go over to Mike at PV Sailing, and he should have the little piece, specifically this little piece, to fix our sail right. So I'm going to go into town real quick. Marissa is working, and I will get a lay of the land and a lay of the dinghy landing procedure first. So it's quite a dinghy ride in. It's about, I would say, equivalent to going into Santa Barbara from the anchorage. So to make sure I got everything, got a full tank of gas, and we will be on our way.
The La Cruz dinghy dock can be found on Dock 1. It is 100 pesos per day and is very close to town, which makes it easy to complete our to-do list.
Well, I just dropped off my old DC to DC charger with a nice Hilux 48 owner, I believe. And now I'm headed back to the boat. I'm gonna grab Marissa, and then we can go to shore. Gonna meet up with Mike at PV Sailing. I think he has the right piece to fix our sail right. So that'll be so awesome if we can get that thing fixed. Bye, Avocet.
While out and about, we learned a lot about our new digs, like how La Cruz de Huanacaxtle got its long name. La Cruz de Huanacaxtle, or La Cruz for short, was once a small fishing village, similar to Chicala, but after the marina was built in 2008, it has become an attractive stop for cruisers during the winter and spring seasons. The town is well known for its live music scene and a number of incredible eateries, keeping the visitors entertained and well fed for the duration of their stay. Many of the restaurant owners remember the names of the annual visitors and always welcome them back with open arms. We would soon learn that this community is one of the many reasons why La Cruz is so incredibly special. Oh, and the name? Well, there are a few legends, but my favorite is that the town's name came to be from the burial of a woman beneath a giant shady Huanacaxtle tree. A cross was carved into the trunk, and as time went by, the tree became a central gathering place, known by all as La Cruz de Huanacaxtle, and thus the name was born. Now, back to our to-do list. In order to finish some of our sewing projects, we needed to get a very specific piece of our old sailright replaced. Luckily, Mike, who is one of the net controllers and owner of PV Sailing, invited us over to see if he could help.
Well, Mike totally had our piece for the sailright, so thank you PV Sailing for hooking it up. We're gonna bring it back to the boat. This one actually looks a little beefier compared to our old one, so I'm hoping that it does better, fares better than our old, whatever this thing's called. We just went into that little marine shop and they had tons of stuff in there. Their English was fantastic, and they were saying, oh, like, we don't have very much, but they have tons of stuff. They got epoxies, they've got canvas materials, hose clamps, sealants, anything you name it, even a whole board of laser parts for like laser 14s. So anyways, they got tons of stuff, super nice people. If you need to get a part in specifically, they can have it shipped to them and they can deliver it all throughout Mexico. So good people to know, and we will link their stuff down below so you can follow them. Well, it's officially warm in Mexico and we need more shade in the cockpit, so I'm making some more shades. Something to connect the Dodger to the solar panel, and then little skirts that go from the solar panel down the bimini.
this is one of the skirts. So I used a little bit of bolt track to hold it up to the solar panel, and then I have just buttons that'll clasp around the pipe. See how it fits.
Living in the tropics is a game of finding or creating shade to hide from the sun's harmful rays. Our new sunshades will help expand our living space so we can continue to enjoy the cockpit even during the heat of the day. With our to-do list and projects finished, we could settle in for the evening, freeing up the rest of our weekend just in time for Sunday's festivities. Good morning. We are headed out to the La Cruz market. Apparently it's a very big deal here. It happens every Sunday, and we were told that people come up from Puerto Vallarta to come visit and from the surrounding areas. So it sounds like it's a really big deal, and we're very excited to participate. We don't really know what to expect besides what our friends have told us, that it is very busy. But we have some friends on the shore right now, and they threaten to burn down our boat if we don't get there soon enough. So with that said, we are gonna grab some bags and head to shore and check it all out. I got veggie crepe.
Look good?
Good. It was a very successful day at the farmer's market, and then we got back to Avocet and took a nap in the cockpit for
Felt great.
a long time. So right now it is
Evening.
It's finally evening, and we're gonna head over to Jay and Kenna's and check out Sitka for the first time. It's been very weird seeing Sitka online for all these years, and now looking out our port light and having her be right there. So we're very excited to check it out and plan a little collaboration video between the two of us. So. Jesus.
Hi, my name is Jay. I'm from Victoria, BC, Canada, and we're sailing on board Sitka, or Choili Offshore 41, built in 1976 in Hong Kong. And this is my beautiful girlfriend, Kenna Jean Chime.
If you recall, Avocet is a CL41, but often gets mistaken as a Choili Offshore 41 like Sitka. Despite the differences, the bones of the two boats are more or less the same, and to finally see that in person was bizarre. It was Avocet, but not, and as if we had stepped into a parallel universe. While aboard Sitka, Chris and Jay chatted about the project we had sailed down to help them with, and further concluded that they needed to tap in a machinist, which meant that the Sitka crew was stuck with us for a little bit longer, and we would have many more nights like the one we had that evening aboard SV Lusty, with her crew, Max and Karen. It was just the six of us, our newfound family, sitting around Lusty's spacious cockpit table with an incredible amount of food beautifully plated in front of us. We laughed, we ate, we played dice, and we talked about future sailing plans. But this isn't where our La Cruz stories end. On the contrary, this is just the beginning of a much bigger story. So remember the names mentioned, because you will be hearing much more about them soon. But all of that is next on Sailing Avocet.